Now, if the environmental conditions they remain stressful only for a short duration, the organisms they show two other alternatives. The first is migrate or migration, and second is suspension or suspend. In migration, the organisms they can move away temporarily from the stressful habitat to the hospitable area. For example, human beings also, अगर बहुत ज़्यादा गर्मी हो तो from Delhi the persons, the human beings they migrate to शिमला. They can migrate to शिमला duration of summer, और ऐसे ही winters में भी किया जा सकता है. Now, birds, there is one important example. Many birds, especially the Siberian cranes, these are the birds from Siberia. They take, during winter, they migrate through long distances to more hospitable areas. Siberian cranes सर्दी से बचने के लिए इंडिया में भरतपुर में कियोलाडो नेशनल पार्क इन राजस्थान, भरतपुर में इस बर्ड सेंचुरी में thousands of Siberian cranes they come during winter to avoid the winter of Siberia, जहाँ पे बहुत ज़्यादा ठंड होती है. Now in suspension, the organisms they suspend their metabolic activities. कैसे? For example, first example is many bacteria, fungi and lower plants. ये क्या करते हैं? During the stressful conditions, they form thick walled spores during unfavorable conditions, और ये जो है inside thick walled spores they become dormant or inactive, और जब favorable conditions आती हैं these spores they germinate and they can grow again. Another example is in higher plants the seeds when they do not get the favorable conditions for germination. कौन सी हैं favorable conditions for germination? That is a suitable temperature and the moisture, that is availability of water. If these favorable conditions are not present, the seeds they undergo a state of dormancy, and dormancy is a state of inactivity. In this state of inactivity they reduce their metabolic activities. Metabolic activities they become minimum. डोरमेंसी को अगर हम हिंदी में इसका मीनिंग देखें तो इट्स मीनिंग इज सुप्त अवस्था. सुप्त अवस्था मतलब सो जाना. व्हेन वी स्लीप वी डू नॉट डाई, वी बिकम इनएक्टिव. ठीक है, वी बिकम स्लाइटली इनएक्टिव. जो रिक्वायर्ड मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटीज़ हैं दे गो ऑन. सिमिलरली इन केस ऑफ सीड्स, when the conditions are not favorable they undergo dormancy and reduce their metabolic activities, and when the conditions they become favorable like suitable temperature and water for germination is available, they can germinate into a new plant. Another example is if the organisms they are unable to migrate, अगर वो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह नहीं जा सकते some organisms, then for example we have winter bear. When it is unable to migrate, so it undergoes hibernation. Hibernation is winter sleep to escape the time of winter. And there is another example where some snails and fish they undergo estivation to avoid summer. So estivation is the summer sleep, यानी ज़्यादा गर्मी को अवॉइड करने के लिए they become inactive, they hide themselves, and or we can say they go to sleep during summer, and winter bear go to sleep during winters. So and in many zooplankton species which are found in lakes and ponds, they enter a stage of diapause. Diapause मतलब कि that is stage of suspended development, यानी अगर conditions favorable नहीं हैं तो वो अपनी जो नेक्स्ट स्टेज है मतलब डेवलपमेंटल स्टेज है उसमें एंटर ही नहीं करते. So diapause is the stage in the development of certain animals during which development growth is suspended during winter when the days are short. So these are the methods by which the organisms they can adapt to their environment. Regulators कौन से हैं जो अपना constant internal environment maintain करते हैं by homeostasis, and द कन्फॉर्मर्स जो इंटरनल एनवायरनमेंट जब मेंटेन नहीं कर पाते तो एनवायरनमेंट के हिसाब से खुद चेंज हो जाते हैं. दीज आर कन्फॉर्मर्स. ये कब है? ये रेगुलेटर्स एंड कन्फॉर्मर्स व्हेन द environmental conditions are permanently stressful. But if the environmental conditions are stressful for a short duration only, then animals they can either migrate to the more favorable environmental conditions, or they suspend their activities by formation of spores in case of plants, by seeds they suspend, by dormancy, by going into a state of inactivity. Either the animals they can go for hibernation, that is winter sleep, to avoid cold weather, or they can undergo summer sleep, estivation, to avoid hot summers, or they can suspend their growth, that is by diapause.